Did you ever write a letter to a CEO and expect to get a response? Probably not. But Steve Jobs was no ordinary CEO. The Apple founder fielded tons of emails from customers and personally replied to many of them. Complaint letters, fan letters, even letters about his health. Tech writer Mark Millian has collected some of these emails in a new book, Letters to Steve, Inside the Email Inbox of Apple's Steve Jobs. Welcome to the show. I had so much fun reading these letters. First of all, how did you get these?
Well, over time, there were a lot of blogs and websites that were just competing to be the first to get these, to post these on their site. You know, it was like a little game of like who will send them emails first, and they came from readers, and there's just this very strong Apple community. So that was a lot of the emails. Just over time, a lot of people didn't know that these were getting posted online. Some of them just came from sources that I've had over the years sending me messages that at the time I didn't necessarily think were newsworthy and didn't publish them, but I hung on to them, and now I've brought them all together for this ebook.
Now, some of these really made me laugh. I'd like to go through some of them. The subject in this one, flawed App Store ranking system, and Steve Jobs writes back, "We will be moving to more review-driven rankings. Tricking the review process is quickly dwarfed by real reviews. I noticed that your app has not received great reviews."
Yeah, often he'll end these with the jab. This was one of the ones I got exclusive for this book. This is a developer who had showed me this email. I was like, oh, that's funny. And then when I started working on this book, I was like, this is great. Like, this is indicative of Steve Jobs' personality, how he would, you know, end with a jab to someone he's never met before. And I also saw like some parallels of this with the whole AntennaGate saga last year with the iPhone 4, where he sort of got reporters together for a press conference and said, there is no problem with the iPhone, but here's how we're fixing it. I kind of saw it in the same sort of way.
Here's another one, the subject line, "What a sham, I mistakenly purchased this app." And he writes back, 9 refunds already. Who's the sham now?
This was an example of when he, you know, wasn't at his
nicest. Now, how are you so sure that he actually was the one writing back?
A lot of the people I talked to for this book who had sent him letters and gotten ones back, they also weren't really sure. It's almost like, how does this tech god, this idol, like just spend the time tapping away messages on his phone? And he talked a few times publicly about how he was sending these emails and about how there's, you know, no greater feeling for him than getting an email from some random person in the world who just brought home an iPad and says it's the greatest thing they've ever gotten. So,
and we know he had his own problems with his health. The next letter, subject line, "My girlfriend died of melanoma." He writes back, "I'm sorry about your girlfriend. Life is fragile."
Yeah, this is a very sweet message. Yeah, he didn't talk too often about, he didn't talk too often to reporters, period, but which is why this is so fascinating, but he didn't talk often about his mortality, and this was one of those times where he kind of came right out and said what he was feeling. It was also later in his life. It was last year, I think.
And there was one more unsolicited from to Stephen Colbert. I guess he unveiled an iPad at the Grammys without being asked to do so, and Steve just wrote, "Sweet, thanks."
Yeah, Apple sent him this an iPad early, you know, before it had come out in stores, and he's this big moment at the Grammys where he's about to read a nominee, and he pulls the device out of his pocket and reads from it. Everybody's going crazy, and here's Steve Jobs, the CEO of this company, just types this very short email. He always wrote short, and he's like, "Sweet, thanks." Like, it's kind of like cute and heartwarming.
Thanks so much, Mark Millian, author of Letters to Steve.
Thanks.